All right, good morning. Now on the heels of another Bears loss to close out the season, losing. Now they basically on a two-game losing streak, losing to the Detroit Lions. Um, I had some time to sleep on it, think about it. The good thing is the Green Bay Packers are also on a losing streak coming into this playoff game on Saturday. The Packers have lost four straight. Um, Some's got to give, of course. Do I like the Bears' chances? Look, we don't know what the playoff Bears are right now. We don't know. From a fan perspective, I just want you guys to savor the moment. Understand that we are three games better than what Vegas predicted us to be this year. We was not supposed to be 11-6. The Bears were supposed to be in last place, maybe even third, as some had us ranked. But there are some positives to take away from this season, even though the Bears kind of finished off with a stinker, losing to the Lions, which is you never want to get swept by the Lions. Um, but it happened. Now the Bears have a 2-4 division record, and but it's a new season as we go into our first playoff season in 5 years. I think, like I said before, man, we don't know what this team is going to be. We don't know how Caleb Williams will perform in the playoffs. We don't know what he's like. I can't sit up here and say that the Bears are going to come out and lose. I can't say that. I can say we'll learn a lot about this team in the playoffs. We're going to learn a lot about them because we don't have as much experience on the offensive side of the ball. You got to understand you got rookies that are kind of having their first taste of the playoffs. Kyle Monunga, these are guys who had strong roles throughout the season, from Colston Loveland, Luther Burden, who actually had a key drop yesterday. Um, but so there's some things that we just don't know, and we're going to learn a lot about this team. If you're a Bears fan watching this, the only thing I can tell you is that just savor the moment. Understand that we're not supposed to be here. Understand that this is the start of something fresh. Okay, maybe the playoffs may not go well next Saturday. It may not go well because the Packers do have more experience. But understand that this is something fresh and it's blossoming. This is not something where, let's say, for example, we have an old team and we're on our last leg. Our window is just now opening. I know we all have high expectations. We all want to go to the Super Bowl. We all want to get there. I get that. But you have to take it for what it is. You can't, expect this team to, get all the way to the Super Bowl in its first season under this coach, under these new players that played a pivotal part in this season. You just can't expect things to happen all at once. So just have some perspective about it going into this game against the Packers. Um, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be tough. The Bears. I looked at some stats, man. The second quarter seems to be our weakest area. We're only averaging about 5.7 points, which is 26 in the league. They don't have very strong second quarters. I think if the Bears are going to be successful, they're going to have a strong second quarter to go into the halftime. You have to go in there and into halftime with some good momentum so you can come back out in the third quarter and just have some just pretty much have a solid third quarter or put yourself in position to have a better second half. But the second quarter has been our weakness, ranked 26 in the league in the scoring category. Our defense is That's another thing about this season. Even though we have a lot of inexperience on offense, the defensive side of the ball, the Bears have not been good. And there's a lot of missed tackles. I don't really have any data on how many tackles we're missing, but we're missing a lot. If this team wants to go far, you gotta tackle somebody. I don't know, I don't know, we just haven't. nobody on defense is making key plays unless it's a secondary with interceptions. So nothing's happening from the linebacker group. I know Edwards had a key pick last week in San Francisco. I get that. He did have a strong outing last week. But I'm talking about the defensive line, the linebackers. This game, they were horrible against the Lions. They couldn't tackle nobody. There was no pressure, rarely any pressure on Golf. And you just can't let Golf sit back there and just pick you apart. That's what he did yesterday. He picked us apart. And we just can't get no pressure on the quarterback. And this lays at the feet of Ryan Poles. You know, he had an opportunity to get some pass rushers, and he failed to do that, relying on guys like Austin Booker. I told you about the guy, Joe Tryon, or whatever the hell his name is. He's always trying, but never gets to the quarterback. Um, you know, when you rely on players like that, we're not going to go very far, folks. Just have some respect the next week. Don't be surprised if the Bears do come out with a loss because it's mainly due to the fact that we're just not very strong on defense, and there's a lot of inexperience on the offensive side of the ball. Legends are made in the playoffs. Maybe Caleb surprises everybody and goes for 340 yards next week against the Packers defense. I don't think that's going to happen. But, you know, maybe he steps up. I don't know. Maybe the defense puts on another gear and starts tackling somebody and act like they want to play a game. But this performance yesterday was a shellacking. It was Detroit basically outplayed us for 3 quarters. And you're not gonna win a lot of games like that. You know, when you're getting outplayed for 3 quarters and expect Caleb to work his magic in the fourth quarter, which he did again. Unfortunately, on the last drive, I really thought the Bears were gonna win after Kevin Byard picked off that ball late in the game. And when the Bears got the ball with like 2:08 to go, I'm thinking, okay, we're in the driver's seat. But the key play, of course, as I mentioned about Luther Burden dropping that ball, that's a key play. You have to catch that ball, and this is what makes or breaks a team. You know, if he catches that ball, it could be a different game. He could be talking about something different. But he didn't catch the ball, and therefore, I believe second down, Caleb had a intentional grounding, and that was it. That did us in. Third down to 20, you can't really do much with that. And Ben Johnson probably should have went for it because Detroit's been killing you all day, in the passing game. They've been killing you all day. You can't give the ball back to Detroit and expect them not to produce, which they've been doing all day on you. So this loss probably is at the feet of the coach. This game, I think the coach played a pivotal part in this loss. Also, the defense had his hand in this, and you just can't let teams run all over you. I mean, the Lions had over 100 yards in rushing between Montgomery and Gibbs. Of course, then we got picked apart in the center of the field. Arad St. Brown, he was just all over the place, killing us left and right from slant routes, and everything else. Green Bay is going to see this, and this is what Green Bay is going to try to exploit when we play next week. So expect a lot of slant routes from the Green Bay Packers, and this is probably how they're going to try to exploit us. And of course they're going to run the ball. So my hopes are not very high for this game against the Packers. I would say that. I hope the Bears come out on top, but my hopes are not high, man. I'm not, just because of the lack of experience that we have on the offensive side of the ball and the fact that our defense is so weak. It's not a championship defense. If you don't have a championship defense, you're not going to win a championship. That's just a fact. And don't think the Bears are there yet. You got to make some change in the offseason from Jaquan Brisker. He's got to get the hell out of here. I can't stand Dexter. He's got to go. Javon Dexter hasn't done anything this year. He hasn't made a play. He doesn't do anything. He's just there. Big Bill, Billings. I don't know what to make of Billings. I just don't know what to make of. He's a big guy, but clearly he's not stopping nobody. You don't see the run defense stopping anybody. You don't see it, and you know, he's definitely regressed from a couple years ago. Of course, last year he was injured, but he's definitely regressed. He's not the same player he was a couple years ago. That's a fact. So you might have to make a change with him. Pass rusher Sweat, non-existent once again. He might have had a sack yesterday, but he was non-existent. Didn't make a key play to change the dynamic of the game. That's what he's paid for, and he didn't make a contribution when we needed him the most. Um, and we just have to upgrade a pass rusher. We have to upgrade it. We need another pass rusher. We got to address that in the draft. That's my takeaway, folks. That's my takeaway. Clearly a bad loss, but the only positive from this is that Green Bay is also on a four-game losing streak. So both teams are coming in kind of in a down spot heading into the playoffs. We'll see what happens. Don't forget Jordan Love has more playoff experience than Caleb Williams. Just don't forget that. Okay, so Caleb Williams is not. This is playoffs. It's going to be a different dynamic that it's probably going to be. It's probably going to be a little. The game's going to speed up for him. So he's got to brace himself for that. But Jordan Love probably has the advantage because he has playoff experience. That's my show for today. Um, Hopefully, we'll be doing. Well, we are going to do another show next week, but hopefully the Bears will come out on top, and hopefully my show will continue to go on throughout these playoffs. Um, I wish everybody, and I mean everybody, a safe 2026 and beyond. I'm out.